The cover of the Velvet Underground box set and the Velvet Underground 1969 album.
Wow.
He's
You guys
doing well in that
Re-released.
regard.
Yeah.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Silver
Great.
Phial, welcome to Metamorphis.
Silver Phial.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah. Cool. So, we're here at Metamorphis. You are number 4 in our little parade of bands.
Lucky number 4.
Lucky number 4. Excellent. So, first thing, Silver Phial, what is the name about? How do you come up with that P-H-I-L name?
Right. Well, the word vial actually is an archaic spelling of the word vial.
Okay.
So it's a silver vial, really, which is
Okay.
things you put. I don't know, you put medicine in there, I guess, or
Well,
drugs
we'll
or
call it-
whatever.
we'll call it medicine.
We'll call it medicine.
Medicine, yeah.
And it comes from a Gene Clark song from the album No Other.
Okay.
So it's called Refuse from the Silver Vial. So.
You've been with that name for a long time.
Yes.
So it's working for you clearly. Do you still find just butchery, people misspelling?
all the time.
That's why I always make sure we have
All the time.
the logo on the
Nice and
kick
big,
drum.
readable.
Yeah,
Excellent.
exactly.
Get it right.
And make it very legible.
And then
Play
you're
to
not.
our advantage if we ever play a prison.
Yeah.
Could be toughest band, right?
That's right.
Right. Yeah, they'll think you're sneaking something in.
Yeah.
What is
Fake
this?
with a
Some
file.
kind of trickery for the. Yeah,
That's
you
right.
know people in this prison.
That's right. Well, yes, that's why we're here.
We play the prison circuit.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. A little following Johnny Cash.
We opened for Johnny Cash,
We-
but we got left off the album.
Yeah.
We were the
It's all
warm-up
great.
act.
Good
yeah.
experience though.
That's great. Yeah. So tell us, how long have you been together?
5 years,
I think
about.
since 2008.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So,
And is this is the original lineup?
we actually had a keyboard player as well, a guy
Oh.
named Johnny, who is a wonderful keyboard player, but he's now in Minnesota.
He also painted the Silver Phial logo on the bass
He
drum.
did.
Oh, that's our
And
guy.
He's now a
Okay.
full-time graphic artist who designed
There you go.
the cover of the Velvet Underground box set and the Velvet Underground 1969 album.
Oh wow.
Really? Wow.
He's
You
doing
guys
really
are-
well in that regard.
Re-released. Yeah.
You guys have good connections. 'Cause wait a minute, you're getting produced by somebody famous on your new recordings?
Yeah.
How do you
yeah.
work?
Semi-famous.
Semi-famous,
Tell us,
yeah.
tell us,
Nelson
tell us,
Nelson
tell
of
us.
Brian Wilson's band
There
is
you go.
producing our most recent recordings
Okay.
for a full-length album.
And who's Nelson?
He plays in Brian Wilson's band. He plays percussion and sings harmonies.
Okay. Cool.
He was, you met him, Scott. Yeah, that was-
I've played in a band with him and on some other musical projects before.
How's the recording going? I know you're a month into it, I think you were
Uh,
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
we
month
were about
into it.
7 songs in. We got some basic tracks for 7 songs. Probably do just as many more. In a few months we'll pick it up again, and hopefully by next summer we'll have an album coming out where we'll collect all the things we've been up to over the past few years. So it's been fun.
And it's been great. I think for me the recording process is great too because I can do other instruments besides just drums. So I play keys and I do percussion and do vocals as well. So for me it's really great because I get to break out of just doing the kit, just being behind the kit and I
Okay.
can do other things. So I really love that and it's creative,
Sure.
So we're excited.
And Nelson also tries to play drums on whatever tracks he
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Muscle his way
Yeah.
You
on.
kind of got to let him
Strong
put in
Yeah.
a couple hours behind the kid here and there.
Yeah, and that's been nice too because it adds different texture. We're different in terms of our style, so it's just another way of getting some different colors.
Okay.
Is this the first time you've had someone produce your recordings?
Very first time, yeah.
How's
very
that
first time.
going for you?
Yeah.
It's going great. I think for me, just logistically, it makes it easier because then you have kind of a captain of the ship. Because we know our music so well, but you need somebody on the outside a lot of times to really sort of steer you.
Has he made some strong suggestions that you've had to follow?
Absolutely.
Yes, they were strong and we had to
Strong,
follow them.
and we had to follow them.
Okay.
And you know what the great thing is though, with the and you guys know the recording process is so malleable that so you try something and if it doesn't work, so what? You try
Yeah.
something different,
It's
and that's
digital
the beauty.
now, delete, right?
Yeah.
That's right, and that's kind of the beauty of it for me is that we can try all these different ways of approaching the song, and then we'll come to some kind of consensus about the way it sounds best. But the great part too is that we do all of the basic tracks really live. So we're kind of all playing together. So we still have that ensemble feeling, which we love. That's kind of about being a trio. That's one of the things that we do love.
And
So
then you kind of flesh it out.
yeah, flesh it out and do overdubs and stuff like that.
So do you have what was the instrument? Harpsichord.
Harpsichord.
You guys have used a harpsichord.
We have.
Is there a new array of odd instruments like that?
We've used harmonium on.
Harmonium.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have harmonium.
And Cheryl plays flute and
I
a
love
lot of
flute.
various
I
exotic
do,
hand percussion
yes.
as well.
Oh, I
Lots
like
of different
flute.
doumbek and
Nope.
frame drum. Yeah, I was a percussionist before
Okay.
I started playing.
Frame
kit.
drum is the click, 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 click. thing?
The bow run is a kind of a frame drum, yeah.
Okay,
But
okay.
I do hand technique. I don't use a stick.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
more Middle
Wow.
Eastern.
More Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
Great.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. So you're gonna. So you have kind of a psychedelic folk sound.
Mhm.
Is that? You're revivalist, I suppose. Would that mean are you going vinyl with this new recording? Is what I'm getting.
Oh gosh, we would love to.
I mean,
yeah, we
yeah.
kind of we threw around the idea of doing 45.
Okay.
You know, doing a single.
okay.
So that's still kind of in the works.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards a double LP.
Double
idea.
LP with a
Double LP.
gatefold and.
Yeah, you know, having the sides is a great way to separate or mix together themes, and
Right.
because we have so many genres that we explore, you
Uh-huh.
know, it may be a cool experience to kind of flip through the album as if you were going through, you know, 4 different EPs. Something
Right.
like that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
It's really hard to merge, you know, country and Norwegian death metal, which is, right? I
Those
mean,
are your two biggest influences.
it's just, yeah, huge, huge.
That's awesome.
So-
Okay.
So speaking of influences, who do you? I know that you guys cite the Birds.
One
I think,
Direction.
like, One Direction.
Yeah.
One
okay.
Direction. Yeah.
We've got the committed to film now. Good.
No direction. Yeah, definitely the Birds, the Beatles. I mean, you know, kind of your standard. But the Zombies, we're really 60s, 70s influenced. I love all kinds of music. I love jazz. I grew up playing classical music, so you know, I love it.
It's just this really, it's like Patrick and Cheryl compose most of the songs, and sometimes the composer doesn't necessarily know what style or arrangement or production touches are going to be added to that song, but I can hear a song and say, oh, that's a psychedelic song, or that's a soul song, or that's a country song, or it could be elements of those three, or something else. It's like a song speaks to me, and I'll try to shape the arrangement into something along those lines.
So that's usually the process of the two of them.
Yeah, I bring like a song that I've written on guitar, and he's great at shaping it, and we work on the arrangements together, and create something, you know, of our own based on some raw materials that we put together. But it's all, we all bring to the table stuff we're equally into, and we make a kind of gumbo out of it. You know?
Do you have people compare you to anyone that you're like consistently and you're just not hearing that? Is that
We
how-
do a good job, I think, of bringing in diverse elements that
Yeah.
people have not heard before together in one
Yeah.
song, for instance, and
Well,
so it's hard to pin us
sometimes
down,
people,
you know?
sometimes we're surprised by, not in a bad way, but there was one blog review of in fact, one of the songs we're going to play tonight, where the blogger said that the song sounded like a female-fronted version of the Yardbirds.
Which
We love the Yardbirds, and
Do
we
love the
didn't,
Yardbirds,
you know,
yeah.
we probably were thinking more along the lines of Small Faces, but for her,
Mhm.
for that blogger, that was like a flank frame of
Yeah.
reference, and we'll take any comparison of the Yardbirds. Sure. And other bands that
A
we
couple
like.
of decent
Mhm.
musicians in
Sure.
that band. Sure.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, it doesn't
They're all right.
even hurt.
All right.
Great.
Yeah, and I think it's an evolving process. You know, the songwriting process is always changing, evolving. And when we first started writing, we loved to go to this cabin in Lake Arrowhead, and so we would just really, I mean, we would woodshed songs like crazy and throw it. And I write poetry, so I would just bring out poetry, and Patrick would take it and crystallize the themes and the images that were coming out, and I think there was a beauty to that, because my stuff was kind of meandering and all over the place, and so he would sort of hone it.
Give you a root.
Yeah.
Something to stand on.
Exactly.
Good.
And so
I really, when I read, especially her poetry, it just jumps off the page and I hear melodies.
Oh, you hear it right away.
Yeah, I'm like,
Magical.
okay, it's going in this direction. Let's move this around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's actually how Mountain Boy came together, the harpsichord song.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's
Interesting.
great.
So
Lock
you-
yourself in a cabin. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Thoreau
Yes.
style.
Thoreau
There's-
style.
yeah,
Exactly. We're doing Walden
Yeah.
all over again.
something about the intimacy of that and being isolated. It's a great time to reflect and put things down and get inspired.
It's kind of like Page and Plant holding up in the Bronniard cottage and coming up with the Led Zeppelin 3.
Bronniard
It's
style.
kind of like that.
Sort of. Yeah. We're
That would
going-
be the
we're-
most, Zeppelin 3 would be the most, Zeppelin album, the most you guys would sound like.
Yeah, they
Probably,
totally ripped us off.
probably.
We weren't happy about that.
You're right.
We've been working
Have
on a
your legal
lawsuit.
team contact their legal team.
Exactly.
You got something.
Led Zeppelin, they ripped everybody off.
No.
Those guys. Who are they? So,
So you're on hiatus now, yeah, from during recording?
Kind of.
Unofficial hiatus?
unofficially, yeah. I
Are
think.
you-
yeah,
Well, now we're rehearsing the newer songs that we want to record in November while Nelson's on the road. There's like 6 or 7 songs that have been sitting in my briefcase, like so to speak, that these guys haven't had a chance to, add their bit to. So I'm excited to work on that new material.
Nice.
Yeah. But as far as playing shows, we've kind of backed off of that a little bit because that you put a lot of energy
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
getting ready for shows, and I think it just
That's the thing, we've been getting like 2 shows a month or so, and then so the times we get together, it was to rehearse our set.
Right.
Now we have the freedom to do something else, and that's really nice.
When a good recording is forever, as opposed to a show's a good night.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, or a drunken one,
Oh,
depending
yeah.
on how it goes.
How much you can remember.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
You're talking about live versus recording. Do you have preferences? Are you, some bands like love the studio and just can't stand to get out in front of people, and some are the exact opposite? Do you-
I love both. I'm a
Yeah.
big ham and I like playing in front of people, but I also like making a recording sound, capturing a great performance and making it
yeah.
sound as classic as we can. And I've been disappointed in some other groups where we've done studio, like we'll have a great live sound and a great live feel, and then we go to a studio and the studio recording contains none of the elements that made to me some of the live, however low fidelity they are, some of the live recordings we've done to me are like the definitive versions of those songs where we like really bottle lightning, and so that's why I get nervous when we record, because I really want the studio recording to live up to the energy of the live show.
Yeah, you're right. It's a tricky. You never quite know what's going to. But it's going well with Nelson.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
recording in our own space, and it's comfortable.
Well, and I think it's important to have somebody, whoever you are, whatever band you are, to have somebody who is steering your ship in the direction that you want to be going in.
Yeah.
You're not going north when you should want to go south.
Yeah.
And Nelson has the same, he has the same influences that we do. So
The 4 of us probably have a similar record collection.
Exactly.
To a degree.
Exactly. So,
There's
he
no
knows.
surprises.
And
Yeah.
you guys kind of like the same era. It would seem he's hanging out with Brian Wilson. and-
Exactly.
Yeah, when he came over to our
Birds.
place, we were talking records, and we happened to have the Fifth Dimension Magic Garden. And
Yeah,
he launched
just
into this
like
whole
this
story
about
this
being the
is
Fifth
their
Dimension.
Sgt. Pepper's moment. And we're like, yeah, man.
It's one of my favorites. So he's like, oh, I can see your influences now. He was looking through all of our records, and so he has a really good idea of the sound that we want. And I think it's tough too, because a lot of the new sounds that people are used to hearing now for voice, all the vocal treatments that they do,
right.
so it's not what we're going for. So we need somebody who gets it.
And he's from that era, or does he just know that era?
He just
He
knows
He
that.
just knows it. He's not quite that aged,
Okay,
but
he's not
yeah.
that old. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So, but he gets the idea of how to build a recording like that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, he worked on, I think, the Smile Sessions.
Oh,
with
okay.
the
Wow.
band. So,
Okay.
yeah, he's very adept at
Right.
seeing how various things fit together and
Okay.
what certain songs require.
Uh-huh. That's great. That's really good. Cool.
Play a few songs?
I think it's done.
I'm
No,
ready.
not really. We're
Yeah,
pretty
we're
much
done. Actually, we're going home now. Our work
Fair
is
enough.
done.
We did one warm up.
We were spent by that interview. We don't even have the energy
We
to.
didn't mean to tax you that much, but we get hard hitting. We do.
Yeah.
We love to play. We love to.
Good.